Yeah, so then you started windfoiling, right?
Yeah, then I
And
got super into windfoiling.
maybe for people who are not into wingfoiling, like when did you start that? I mean, it's not like the first time I saw windfoilers is probably not that long ago, probably like 5, 6 years, something like that.
Yeah, it would have been 5, 6 years ago. Basically, it wasn't much of it. What it was, I don't think you could really buy it on the market yet when I first started. But Tony Lagos was out there every day. I mean, he got the foiling thing going with Slingshot and the kites and the wake, and he's a ripping windsurfer,
Mm-hmm.
and so he was getting it going and handed me some gear, and I think I did my first back loop on like a 150-liter Wizard prototype. Um, and back then we were definitely like, I was breaking a lot of the stuff and being like, Tony,
Mm-hmm.
the M6 bolts aren't strong enough. We need we need to get thicker bolts in here. And then that was kind of when Balls Mueller was starting to go crazy with it. And so for a while there, it was kind of like Balls Mueller and his brother Jack and me, and we'd all, trading who could do backflips and this trick and that trick. And it
Mm-hmm.
was super fun because it was just taking off. And basically the three of us were pushing each other a ton, just like me and my old buddies from the Bay did. And yeah, we got super into it. I mean, everybody would ask you like, oh, well, what do you like about wind foiling? And for me, it was always that foiling in general, it just makes less than exciting conditions super fun again. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm pretty spoiled. I get to windsurf a lot in nice windy places, but you just kind of lost even the freestyle. If it was blowing 5.5 or 5.2, the slidey tricks were getting a little boring. Always wanted to do, big jumps and backflips, and couldn't really do that on the 5.2, 5.5. But then you throw a foil in and all of a sudden you can jump like crazy. You can get mad pop off of, nothing for cool rotations. So yeah, I mean, the foiling hit windsurfing and it just reinvigorated it because if you have not very exciting conditions, all of a sudden you're just like having the time of your life, like you're learning the windsurf all over again.
Mm-hmm.
It was really a game changer for me and got me like reinvigorated on going out when it wasn't blowing 4.0 with 3 meter swell.
Got it. Nice. And for people who are not windfalling, like, I mean, for me, I just windfalled a couple of times. So I get the feeling, but I don't, I cannot really say something about the potential of it because I just had a couple of sessions. But it feels for me like there's a potential that it's way more direct than wing falling, for instance, like more powerful or something like that. Like, can you compare the two of them?
Yeah, that's interesting. Can you compare the two? Um, it is, I see what you're saying, more power, more direct. Um, it definitely, I thought it was faster, and then now kind of like, well, they're both capable of going super fast. Yeah. Oh man, it's really hard to compare the two, honestly. I mean, foiling is foiling, but windsurfing, yeah, you're harnessed in a little bit more, and you're kind of feeling it from your core, and
Hmm.
you can push. You can push off. You can lean everything over and push off the fin more like a windsurf than the on the wing foil. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's all the tricks you can do regular windsurfing, you can basically do on the foil now. So that's pretty rad. And honestly, it translates so much to wing. It's pretty similar. Like
Hmm.
just the other day over here, I learned how to do a windsurf trick that's like an air funnel. So it's like you're backwinded on the wing, and then you jump and do a frontside 540 in the air and land going the other way. And
Hmm.
I can do the trick windsurfing, and then you're backwinded on the wing, and you're like, well, it should be the same, right? They're both backwinded frontside 540s, and honestly, try it a couple times, and you're getting it. So it's actually super similar. Like all the tricks I've learned on the wing are just windsurf tricks that I adapted. So
Uh-huh.
I think I think if we can get the good freestyle windsurfers to really embrace the foil and the wing, those are the people that are going to accelerate the fastest in the sport, because literally you're just doing exactly the same tricks on the wing. So, I mean, you can see Balls is an incredible, freestyle windsurfer. And then he took it all to windsurf foiling, and it's just, they're all the same tricks. So he's just translating his windsurf tricks into winging. So it's honestly not that different.
Interesting. For me, it felt pretty different. Maybe because I'm not on the same level or something like that. But for me, it felt like in wingfoiling, it felt like smooth and also a little bit, I had this sense of security because I was not attached to my harness and stuff. And in windfoiling, I felt like, okay, I'm in the straps, I'm in the harness. If I crash now, I'm pretty doomed.
There is that where because actually some of my guests were asking me the other day, like, are you more scared doing tricks windsurf foiling or with the wing?
Yeah.
And it's huge because of the mast is connected to the board in windsurfing, it's impossible for the foil to hit your sail. If it was possible, we would just destroy all of our windsurf sails immediately and it wouldn't work. But because when your board tries to flip upside down, the mast hits the rail of the board, stops the foil from going through your sail, which is awesome because that's not true with wing foiling. You can definitely destroy your whole wing super easy. I mean, anytime your foil flips upside down, if you let go of that wing, it's toast. Like, it was in the early days and I had just starting it wing foiling, and my buddy Tyson Poor had just got wing, and he came down to the beach, and it's not a beach, we kind of launch off the rocks, and so he kind of threw his board in upside down, and then he let go of the wing, and the thing just completely impaled itself before he'd ever even tried the sport and gotten on the water. He was super pissed. So I mean, there is that really nice thing about windsurfing. If you're holding on to the boom, then you maintain separation from the board and the foil.
Yeah.
Whereas with wing foiling, I've definitely had some crazy crashes where you lose the board, and then you don't, even if you're holding on the wing, that doesn't give you any separation from the board and the foil, and the thing's coming for you, or it's up in the air and you're holding the wing, but the board is attached to your leash, so it's straight downwind of you with the foil up, and you can't quite figure out how to get it flipped over. So I don't know. As far as like which one's more dangerous, it's really nice that in windsurfing you can't puncture your sail with your foil, and if you hold the boom, you keep it a nice distance. Whereas with the wing, I mean, all those guys doing backflips when they lose the board above them and it's coming down on their heads, oh, you can see why everybody's wearing helmets.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I never thought about that way, that your sail is actually protecting you also from somehow interfering with your foil. It's interesting.
Yeah.